Joining me now is Virginia Congressman Rob Wittman. He is the vice chairman of the House Armed Services Committee and a member of the Select Committee on China. Congressman, good morning to you. I want to point out something interesting. I was looking at the schedule for the administration and the officials this week. Treasury Secretary Yellen going to Vegas, a clean energy worker training center. Acting Labor Secretary Julia Su, a clean economy work tour. Nothing about inflation is in any of this language that we've now gotten from the White House about where these officials are going to be going. It's all about clean energy.
Yeah, they should be talking about the economy, Cheryl. It's clear Bidenomics for American families means spend more and get less. You saw the numbers there from a year ago, July, to today, a 3% increase in groceries and energy costs for American families. We see the $10 trillion of spending in the quote-unquote Inflation Reduction Act has resulted in record inflation. Ronald Reagan said, governments don't create economic growth, people do. American families are experiencing runaway inflation, and they say that their dollars aren't going as far as they once did, and that is having a severe effect on American families.
Well, and also we're looking at a lot of the food price jumps that we got from CPI last week, Congressman, and that was one of the most troubling things about the report that I pointed out to Maria was the fact that you've got, average American families, white bread, almost 10% higher year over year. These are the staples that people have in their kitchens, and these are where the price jumps are being seen and felt. So how has the Inflation Reduction Act done anything to help these prices?
Cheryl, it's done nothing. In fact, if you not only look at food prices, but you look at fuel prices, the average fuel price today, $3.84 a gallon across the United States. Almost $1.40 greater than when Joe Biden came into office. Bidenomics is doing nothing to help the average American family deal with these increasing prices. In fact, I argue it has actually added to inflation.
I wanted to ask you as well, as we're looking at, the effect of gas prices on households. This Gallup poll, 67% says that this has caused them financial hardship. That's in particular, you're looking at diesel energy, wholesale gasoline, jet fuel as well. I want to move on, though, to the issue of China, though, and the oil market, because China's defense minister visiting Russia and Belarus this week. He's going to speak at the Moscow Conference on International Security, meet with Russian defense leaders. Beijing's responding to Taiwan's vice president's trip to New York. That was yesterday. China's foreign ministry calling Taiwan's VP a troublemaker, vowing to take resolute and vigorous measures to defend their territorial integrity. More loud language from the Chinese about Taiwan. How concerned are you that China is going to make a move, even though we've had almost every administration official now in the last 2 months go to China to kowtow to Xi Jinping?
I think we need to be very concerned about this growing relationship between China and Russia. I can tell you that they mean what they say when Xi Jinping talks about having his military ready by 2027 to take Taiwan. We need to take him seriously. That means we have to really focus on our relationships with countries in the Indo-Pacific. In fact, I just got back this morning from visiting with countries there to make sure that our relationships are strong, because we're going to need that in order to deter China. They're very serious about this, and I can tell you leadership in the executive branch needs to call this for what this is. This is an incredibly serious threat, and you cannot underplay it, and you cannot believe that capitulating to Xi Jinping somehow is going to change his behavior. It's not. He means exactly what he says, and that is he is going to be prepared to take Taiwan by 2027.
By 2027, I'm thinking 2024, if you base it on the language that we're saying. I also want to ask you about this. This is going back to funding. The White House asking Congress for $40 billion in new funding. There's $24 billion for Ukraine. There's $12 billion for disaster relief. I think we can agree that some of that money is going to be needed now for Hawaii. Only $4 billion, though, for the border and the fentanyl crises. Only $4 billion. When New York City is about to spend $12 billion on migrant shelters. Axios is reporting part of the border money would go towards a temporary housing program for illegal migrant families. That would give them more freedoms, they're saying, compared to normal detention, which should be true. But, Congressman, your thoughts on the fact that billions more goes to Ukraine when only $4 billion is going to our border?
Well, it just goes to show that there's mixed up priorities with this administration. We need to be focusing on the border. I want to understand, too, the proposal they have for dollars going to Ukraine. Listen, I am adamantly in support of helping Ukraine against this unprovoked attack from Russia. But I want to make sure we understand where every dollar is going there. I've been at the forefront of making sure that those dollars reflect transparency and accountability. There shouldn't be a blank check going to Ukraine, and there should be a reflection of the priorities of this nation, first and foremost, with these proposals that come to us from the White House. And it's pretty obvious that this one does not reflect what the priorities of this nation should be.
All right, Congressman Rob Wittman. Congressman, thank you for getting up early for us. We appreciate it.
Thank you, Cheryl.